Hey guys, it's Scott with Scotty B Cards, and in this video, I want to look at the top rookies in Top Series 2. I do these videos every single time there's a flagship release. Flagship is Top Series 1, Top Series 2, and Topps Update. I will take the top rookies in each class and I will rank them. And what I'll do to rank these rookies is I will take their age into consideration, their prospect ranking, their minor league stats, their major league stats, and their average score of those four. So the reason I pick those stats is because age is important when a player debuts. When they debut early, it allows them to, reach higher status. They can get more All-Star Game appearances. They can potentially get to the Hall of Fame because debuting early is extremely important to get to that point. On top of that, prospect ranking is important because these are expert scouts that say these are the best players in the minor leagues and they rank them accordingly. Then you have minor league stats. Minor league stats are important because it shows what they've done in the minor leagues and it has a whole body of work versus a small sample size in the big leagues. But major league stats are also important because it shows what they've done against better talent and better pitching or hitting if they're a pitcher. The way I'm actually going to do this, if you look, here's the first player. It's Colton Welker. He's 24 years old, so I gave him 6 points. If they're 20 years old, they get 10. If they're 30, they get 0. Their prospect ranking, if they're ranked as a top 100 prospect, they'll either get 10 points if they're in a top 10, or they'll get 1 point if they're in the 90 to 100 range. Minor league stats, that's just I look at their statistics and I'll show you my thought process and assign a number there. And major league statistics, same thing. I summed these and took the average. So that's where we got 4. So he's about a 4 points for a player. This goes from 1 to 10. And so out of the 50-ish rookies, these are the top 15. So I've already spoiled it. Number 1 is Colton Welker. Colton Welker, he has not had his talent translate at the big leagues. He was a formerly ranked top prospect, but the bad thing with Colton Welker is just that he has not performed well when he's come up to the Rockies, and so he's lost that top prospect status. But he's still young, 24 years old, not a top prospect. His minor league stats are very good. We can go look at Colton Welker. So if we scroll down, we'll see even this year in AAA, he's still technically 2.5 years younger than the average AAA player, but he's hitting .324 with a .936 OPS, only 2 home runs, not tons of power. I believe he was also hit with a PED suspension, which is not great for him. He's only had a cup of tea in the big leagues. He has played 19 games and has a batting average of 189 with an OPS of 466. For somebody who's playing in a high offensive environment, you'd expect more than that out of him. So that's number 15 with Colton Welker. At number 14, we have Kevin Smith of the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's look at Kevin Smith. He has actual decent numbers this year. Last year he was worth negative .3 WAR. This year he's been worth .6, so his career total is at .3. And so you can see for that reason, I've given him a 5 for major league stats. He's been about average, if not above average. His minor league stats are slightly above average, which we'll get to. No prospect rankings for him heading into this year, and he is 25 years old. So let's just dive into some of his minor league stats. Like I said, he had the top prospect status in 2019, but nothing heading into this season. This last year in AAA, he played pretty well. 285 with a 931 OPS, which is why he has a high number there. Overall, his numbers aren't amazing in the minor leagues, but pretty good. 816 career OPS with some power, which is great over the course of 5 seasons. But in the big leagues, offensively, it just hasn't quite translated yet. He only has an OPS plus of 66. League average is 100. It looks at the OPS for Kevin Smith. It's a 566. And then it takes into consideration league average and ballpark factors, 100 being average, and he's at 66. So he's below average offensively, but he's been great defensively and on the base paths, as you can see right here. Defensively, he's been a very, very good defender, and overall his offensive WAR is still good at .1. At number 13, we have Ryan Feltner for the Colorado Rockies. So many Rockies in this set. Ryan Valade's in this set, but he's not in the top 15. But Ryan Feltner, he has a 3.71 ERA with 3 games started. That's pretty good for a Rockies pitcher. Granted, it's been 3 games, so that could easily get blown up if he has a bad inning. It's just how it kind of rolls with pitchers, especially early in their career. But if you go look at the minor leagues for Ryan Feltner, he has a 3.68 ERA, 21 wins. He struck out 330 batters in only 63 games or 63 appearances. So for that reason, he's only 25 years old, so he's at 5 points there. No prospect rankings. His minor league stats are above average. I gave him a 5.5, and so far his big league stats have been above average. I gave him a 6 because he's doing well at the Rockies. Granted, I could have put the minor league stats a little bit higher and the major league stats a little bit lower, but it all works out to a pretty good score of 4.125. At number 12, we have Matt Brash for the Seattle Mariners. Matt Brash is one of the few players in this set who actually has a prospect status. So Matt Brash is one of the few players in this set who has a top prospect status. Matt Brash is a 40th-ish prospect overall, so he gets 6 points. He's 24 years old. His minor league stats aren't amazing, and his major league stats have been bad. So if you look at his major league stats, he's worth negative .7 WAR with a 7.65 ERA in 5 starts. He's young. He's only pitched 20 innings. There's a very good chance he figures it out because people really view him as a top prospect. I think he'll be able to use his stuff to get there. As you can see, Baseball America has him as the number 45 prospect, which is where he got those 60 points from. If you look at the minor leagues this year, he's been not great again, 5.73 ERA. If we go down to his career in the minors, it's 2. 2.61. So I was a little bit hard on him there. But overall, I'm taking into consideration this year more at the AAA level just because he's not able to prove it there, or the big leagues, it's been a little bit tough for him. He's only pitched about 7 games, so nothing too crazy. But overall, I just don't think he's quite higher on this list, but he has a lot of potential for the Mariners. And the Mariners have a ton of young talent, and they're going to be very good very, very soon. At number 11, we have Jake McCarthy. Jake McCarthy is an Arizona Diamondbacks slugger. He is 24 years old, no prospect ranking. His minor league stats are very good, and his major league stats are okay. So let's look at Jake McCarthy. With Jake McCarthy, he's actually been worth negative 0.1 WAR this year so far in 23 games, but in 24 games last year, he was worth 0.4 WAR. And for that reason, I gave him a little bit of credit. But if we go look at his minor league statistics, you'll see he's actually had a killer year. He's at a 400 batting average, almost a 1200 OPS in 20 games. And so it just hasn't translated to the big leagues yet. And overall, his minor league stats are an 843 career OPS with a 282 batting average, 25 home runs in only 216 games. He has a ton of potential, and I think he could be really good for the Diamondbacks. Hint, he's not the last Diamondback we'll see on this list. At number 10, we have Spencer Strider. Spencer Strider for the Atlanta Braves is another pitching prospect. They seem to just spit out pitching. Somehow they just have all this pitching, and he's another young pitcher who could be very good. If we look at Spencer Strider's stats, you'll see he's 23 years old, so the youngest player so far on this list. He's not a ranked prospect according to Baseball America or Major League Baseball, but he does have about average minor league stats, if not slightly above average, and about average major league stats so far. So if you look at Spencer Strider, I could probably give him a 6 or a 7 for his major league stats, but overall, still a really good pitcher. So look at his minor league stats. He's only been in the minors for 1 season. He had a 3.64 ERA, so pretty good. His whip is pretty low as well with a 1.106. You know, a very, very good whip is 1. Very good. If you have under a 1, it means you're like the elite pitchers. So anything between a 1.1 and a 1.2 is still good. And so for him, he has the potential, again, like all the other players on this list as a rookie, to really break through, but that's why I have him at number 10. At number 9, we have Seth Beer. This is the other Arizona Diamondback I was hinting at. He is 25 years old. He's had amazing rookie statistics, but has not had it translate at the major league level yet. And let's take a look at Seth Beer. So with Seth Beer, he's worth negative 0.4 WAR this year alone, negative 0.3 for his career. And that's just because he's struggled. He's not played many games so far, just like all these players. Everything looks worse or better than it really is. He doesn't have a top prospect status currently, but if we look at his minor league stats this year in AAA, he hit 256 with a 935 OPS. So he did look really, really good. But if we go down into 2022 in the big leagues, he has a 585 OPS, dropped almost 400 points, batting average dropped 40 points, and he hasn't really had any power whatsoever. So he's more of a power guy. He's a really good ball player. He just needs to figure out the big league level, and he can. I am relatively high on Seth Beer. I think he'll be a good ball player. I'm not saying buy his cards just because he is 25 years old, which it makes it more difficult to turn a profit. But overall, Seth Beer will probably be a decent major league player. And number 8, we have Jose Siri. Jose Siri is 26 years old, so older for a prospect. No prospect ranking heading into this year. He does have great minor league stats, and he has pretty dang good major league stats as well. Jose Siri, as you can see, has been worth 1.4 WAR so far in his career. His young career, only about a season and a half, or even a full season if you consider all of his games together. If you go to his minor league stats, you'll see he's been in the minor leagues for 8 years with a 783 OPS, 271 batting average, and only 84 home runs. Not a huge power guy, but that's nothing too surprising. If we look at him this year, however, in the minor leagues, you'll see in AAA he had a 318 batting average with a 921 OPS. So he's figuring out the minor leagues. He's really ready for the big leagues, but the bad thing is he's just a little bit too old to really be a true investment, and that's why he did get that lower age score here, but everything else looked pretty good in comparison. Overall, as you can see, this is a pretty weak rookie class, and I'll hit on that later, but pretty weak rookie class, and so a lot of players that wouldn't be considered normally are being considered for this 2022 Top Series 2. At number 7, we have Juan Yepez. Juan Yepez has been great for the Cardinals, and he even had, I think, an RBI double today. If we look at his numbers, he's 24 years old, good minor league stats, and good major league stats. So here's Juan. He has 0.5 WAR so far this year with actually a 130 OPS plus, meaning he's 30% better than league average. Good for him. This number easily could have been a 6 or a 7, but I have it just as a 5 because his defense hasn't been as great as his offense. But if we scroll down to his minor league statistics, you'll see, again, 24 years old. In the minors, he was killing it, 974 OPS, what you'd expect from a guy ready to graduate to the big league level. And for his career, he has a 792 OPS. At number 6, we have Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan is one of the top leading rookies for Rookie of the Year this year. The issue for Joe Ryan, even though he has an 8.5 in the minor leagues and an 8 in the major leagues, is that he's 26 years old already, which makes investing in a 26-year-old pitcher tough, especially if he's a rookie. He is in a top prospect status. He's only the second top prospect to even be on this list so far. He's in the 80s. So let's go look at Joe Ryan. Again, 1.4 WAR this year, 2.28 ERA in 6 games pitched, a whip below 1. Like I discussed, that's elite. and he just needs to be healthy for the Twins, and if he does, he could easily be in contention for Rookie of the Year. The American League will have a very good Rookie of the Year class this year. It'll be interesting to see who turns it on in the second half, but again, Baseball America had him in this year as number 86, which got him those 2 points. So, good ball player. He's pitched well in the minor leagues, has a 2.67 ERA in 50 games. Pretty good player. After that, at number 5, we have Josh Lau. So, Josh Lau, he is the brother of Brandon Lau, I believe, but he's only 24 years old. His prospect ranking is a top 40 prospect. So, if you look at Josh Lau right here, we'll see he's number 44. And because of that, he gets 6 points. His age, he's not necessarily young. He gets 6 points still there. His minor league stats aren't anything too crazy. He's an amazing defender, but offensively, he's nothing too crazy yet. He could develop, but defensively is where he makes a lot of his money. So we can see right here, even in AAA, he had a 284 batting average with an 868 OPS in 21 games. So he's still a good offensive player, but he's not elite like a Wander Franco or a Julio Rodriguez's offensive profile. But if we go look at his profile for his major league level, you'll see he's actually been a positive defensive player, and he'll continue to do that for the Rays. At number 4, you have Yoansy Contreras. He's been pretty dang good. He's a top prospect as well. You can see right here that he is a top 80 prospect. He's 22 years old, so the youngest player on this list by far so far. Minor league stats is a 7, and major league stats has been a 7. He's performed at every level he's been at, and he's young, and he's a top prospect, all of which makes him really high on this list. If we look at his numbers, you'll see he's worth 0.5 WAR so far this year in only 5 games. So if you over the course of a 30-game season for him, he's at, 3 WAR. So if he continues to play well, he could be a 2.5 to 3 WAR player at age 22, which is impressive for a player like Contreras. If we look at his minor league stats again, I'm going very quick over the stats. You can always appreciate it yourself if you prefer. He has a 1.1 whip, which is not bad, a 3.10 ERA, which is not bad, and he struck out 313 hitters in 68 games, only 327 games pitched. So about 1 strikeout per inning. At number 3, we have Oneil Cruz. Oneil Cruz came onto the scene hot last year, but since then he's kind of cooled off. He got sent to the minor leagues for more development. People thought it was just a service time manipulation thing, but he's not up yet, and that's because he hasn't really played that great in the minor leagues. But he's 23 years old, young, a top, I think he's number 14 overall prospect, so he got 9 points there, 7 points for being 23 years old. Minor league stats are good, a 6.5. They've gotten better as he's aged, and his major league stats are good with a 6. So let's look at Oneil Cruz. In the big leagues, offensively, a 163 OPS. That's very good. If we go look at his overall page, however, so you'll see Oneil Cruz has a 163 OPS. That's because he hasn't played too many games with the big league club. Career-wise, he still has a 163 OPS. That's better than Juan Soto, but he's only had a few games, which is obviously the major difference here. If we go look at his minor league statistics, let's go look at Oneil Cruz here. Again, top 14th prospect, give him 9 points. And if we scroll down, you'll see in the minor leagues in 2021, he hit 310 with a 970 OPS, but if we fast forward till 2022 in AAA alone, he's hitting 220 with a 732 OPS. This has gotten significantly better than where it was previously. At number 2, we have Shane Baz, and Shane Baz is a great player. Shane has been able to be a top prospect, again, a top 15 or so prospect, got him 9 points there. He's 23 years old, he's young, his minor league stats are great, and his major league stats are great. So let's go look at Shane's numbers. If we see here, he's only pitched 3 games, but he's been worth 0.4 WAR with 2 wins, and he's been able to have an extremely low whip. He actually probably should have 10 points instead of 9 right there. Still would have kept him at number 2, but overall, great ball player. With the Durham Bulls, he's pitched amazingly the last few years. He had a 1.76 ERA in 10 games. With the big league with Tampa Bay Rays, he's only pitched 3 games with a 2.03 ERA. So I know there's a lot of pitchers on this list. That's what happens when you rank everybody evenly. Next time, maybe I'll actually add a second category for giving a little bit more leverage to hitters, just because they hold more hobby love. But Shane, great ball player. Great player that you might want to look into because he is a top prospect and has shown some glimpses of greatness already. And at number 1, we have Wander Franco, which makes no sense because he is in Topps Series 1. I've seen historically Topps put Shohei Ohtani. He was in Series 2 and Topps Update, which was weird, but his Topps Update, maybe it's just kind of like his rookie debut. It wasn't. Maybe that's what they were thinking. And then you have Trent Grisham and Randy Rosarina, who were traded. Rosarina went from the Cardinals to the Rays, and Grisham went from the Brewers to the Padres, so they had their flagship in their previous uniforms and their new team's uniforms. But I've never seen a player who's had a flagship rookie in Series 1 and Series 2. It's interesting because Topps has held back Julio Rodriguez, Bobby Witt Jr., CJ Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, and tons of other talent. There's tons of other great ball players, even Jeremy Pena for the Astros. All these players are in Topps Update. They pushed them all back for some reason and really watered down Series 2. I'm a little bit disappointed in Series 2. And as you're chasing these rookies, just be aware, if you get a Wander Franco Gold, that's cool, but it won't be as much as the Series 1 Wander Franco Gold. And if anything, it's going to cannibalize the Wander Franco Gold from Series 1. I really don't like that Topps did this. On top of that, it makes you wonder, what will Topps Chrome look like versus Topps Chrome Update? We have seen with Topps Chrome, we've seen Cody Bellinger have a Topps Chrome rookie, but he didn't have a flagship rookie until Topps Topps Update. Then you had a Topps Chrome Update rookie that matched his flagship jersey. And so it just really made it confusing what you should buy. It's happened multiple times throughout Topps history. They did the same thing with Nolan Arenado. You had a Topps Chrome rookie, and then a Topps Update rookie, and then a Topps Chrome Update rookie, which matched his Topps Update rookie. And so it really cannibalizes themselves again. This is something I'm not a huge fan of, and I'm interested to see maybe Topps is considering making Witt, Rodriguez, all these other great players, Jeremy Pena, or CJ Abrams. Maybe they're going to be short prints, like we saw with Ronald Acuna Jr. in 2018 and Gleyber Torres in 2018 in Series 2, or maybe even Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in 2019 Series 2, where he was a no-number short print. Wasn't as rare, but he was printed less than his other players like Alonso and Tatis. I hope that's the case. I am completely fine with Topps making these really good players' rookie cards more rare and more hard to find, because it makes these players who become better ball players from avoiding the massive print runs. But if they aren't in this set, it's going to be very, very weak. I am very underwhelmed. I kept scrolling through the rookie checklist and waiting to see a good ball player. And there's some great ball players in here, lots of pitchers. O'Neal Cruz is great. And then with Seth Beer is good. He had an insert rookie in Series 1. I was surprised to not see anyone but Wander. And I was surprised to see Wander in the first place. So overall, those are my thoughts on the set. Good luck ripping. If you're going to rip, just be conscious. It's not going to be a huge profitable product. It's not going to be like 2018 Topps Update. Honestly, you probably should wait till Topps Update of this year. It's going to be a very, very, very good product with very, very good players. It's going to be a heavy hitter. So if you're going to spend money, I'd recommend buying that product, not this one, because the rookie class here is just pretty weak. Overall, thank you for watching the video. Let me know in the comments below if you agree, disagree, who you'd rank higher or lower, and what your thoughts are on this set. And other than that, I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.